Hi, how is everyone doing? I hope you're doing good because I am. Today we are gonna be talking about everything that I watched in the month of August. Actually didn't think I watched that much, but compiling it all for this video, damn. So grab your popcorn and enjoy. I'll have timestamps to the 3 different categories we'll be talking about today in the description, so you can click on to what you're most interested in. I'm gonna be talking about the seasons I watched this month, I'm currently watching, and then the movies I watched this month to finish things off. But let's start with the shows watched. The starting things off with Acidic Computer Season 8, which was a rewatch, and I give 2 out of 5 stars to. Here's the thing, when it comes to this season, I thought it was fine. Obviously it's a 3-star and I had a fun time with it, but at this point in the storyline with the show, we are to like the point where Boma and Pascal are together, and I think that's the most boring part of the show. I don't know why. I like these characters a lot and I like their dynamic a lot, but once they like get into a relationship, I feel like things become so repetitive and boring, and I just do not care. So that did drag down the rest of the season for me as well. Then next I have Shifting Gears Season 1, which I give 2 out of 5 stars to. I randomly started watching this on Disney Plus. I had no actual reason to watch this. I don't know. I wanted to watch a sitcom. This was in like the news section and I was like, okay. And honestly, it's fine. I feel like comedy-wise, it's not my favorite, but I do think it has some good heart to it. And I am very excited to see it grow when it gets a second season, or if it gets a second season. I don't know if it's picked up. But I feel like sitcoms oftentimes first seasons tend to be a little bit meh as they find their groove a little. So I'm very hopeful that maybe the second season will be better just because it does have the heart to it. It just, the comedy is still a bit, you know, searching. So I'm hoping it will find itself for a second season if it gets one again. Then next I watched Fam Season 1, which I give 2 out of 5 stars to. I started this a couple of months ago. I just kind of never continued with it. But if you I don't even remember when I started it, so I can't refer back to you to another video, but I know that I talked about it before in like a currently watching section. And I started watching this video because TikTok at a certain point decided to basically show me clips of the show to the point where I felt like I'd already seen most of it. So I was like, why not just actually watch it? And I did. And then this month I just needed something like light and fun to watch. It's like I never finished this, so I finished it. I'm not really a big fan. I do think it has its moments, but it's just painfully mid. And again, just like Shifting Gears, I do think if it got a second season, there might be a potential to like it a bit more. But I also, at the same point, this never got picked up, by the way, because this originally came out in 2020, I believe. So like if it would have gotten a second season, I would have gotten it by now. But I also am not sure if it would have gotten a second season, I would have stuck around because I just wasn't that interested. I feel like it was fine to have on while I was doing other things, which is mainly how I watched it, but it's very, very mediocre. Let's just keep it at that. Then next we have the latest release from Marvel, Eyes of Wakanda, which is a mini-series, and I give 4 stars to. My only complaint with this is the fact that it's a mini-series. I feel like this should have been so much longer. This was so short, and this is an animation series. Like kind of each episode, like it's an anthology series, each episode is its own story, but it's about the history of Wakanda. And I thought it was so interesting, and the art style was stunning, and I really loved each episode and kind of like the things we went into. But I feel like they're also like relatively short episodes, so it felt over very quickly, and then there aren't that many episodes, so it generally was over very quickly. And I don't know, I feel like this should have been much longer because there was so much potential here, but it just wasn't fully executed on. But what we got was really good. Then next I watched Dream Productions, which is another mini-series. I gave this as well 4 stars. I recently watched Inside Out 2 for the first time. Hello. So I also decided to check out this show because it is very short, and I thought, what the hell? And honestly, I thought this was really fun. I feel like, you know, Eyes of Wakanda was way too short for what it was. This was the perfect length. I feel like just 5 extra minutes of content would have ruined this. Like, this is perfect the way it is, and it's a really cute and fun show. It is basically about, it's still about Wiley, but like inside of her mind, the people who make dreams and stuff like that, rather than like emotions. It's about the dream, and it's kind of shot like it's made like a mockumentary. And I say shot, but it's animated. It's made like kind of mockumentary style, and I thought it was so much fun. So yeah, I don't know, I had a blast watching this. Then next we have Acidic Computer Season 9, which was a rewatch, and I give 2 out of 5 stars to. Again, a fine season is the introduction of BTV, who isn't the most popular character, and honestly I do get that because like when it comes to the antagonists in the show, like the dreams, this definitely is the weakest, but I do think he has some banner episodes, not this season. I feel like this season they still to kind of finding the groove, like such a big change within the cast, and that makes sense, but it was fine. Then next, I finally finished Buffy the Vampire Slayer season 5, which I of course give out of 5 stars to. If you haven't been watching these videos or you skip my currently watching always, I have been very slowly making my way through Buffy season 5 because this season is sad. The first half of the season isn't. It's really fun, and I flew through that. And the first half of this introduces a new character, Dawn, and I love what they did with that character. And I can't say much more because it's spoiler me. But I feel like that whole premise was so interesting and so intriguing, and like the antagonist of the season as well was so interesting. But then the second half gets so sad. Again, I won't talk about it more because spoilers, but damn, I went through it slower because I didn't always want to cry, and definitely always made me cry. The acting by especially Sarah Michelle Gellar was just top notch. She deserved all the awards for that. I don't know if she did get all the awards for that, but she deserves them. I don't know, it was just so brilliantly done. And then like I said, the antagonist this season was so strong. I feel like the character itself, not necessarily my favorite, but the threat was there. It was so well written and there was so much tension, and I generally, the finale, like my heart was racing because I didn't know how things were gonna end up. And yeah, and I also, the finale was so good, but I don't know how they're gonna continue on with that. But I was too lazy to switch each episode between Angel and Buffy, so now I'm stuck with 2 seasons of Angels before I can know what happens with Buffy next. But oh well. Then lastly, for the shows to watch this month, I have Good Cop Bad Cop season 1, which I give 5 stars to. I honestly, I'm a sucker for anything with Leighton Meester in it. And my mom noticed the show and she said she wanted to watch it. I was like, fine. And my mom loves police shows, like police procedurals, like crime shows. She loves that shit. Me less so. But I did see a trailer for this on TikTok when it first came out in the US, and it did seem kind of like fun. So I was like, I love Leighton Meester, I can't talk. And the trailer looked fun, so how about I watch it with you? So we watch it together, and honestly, I feel like the episodes are too long. I feel like there's like 15-minute episodes and it should be far more like 40, 45, like even like 35. I feel like would have been much stronger because I feel like a lot of the show kind of meanders a little bit, and just like we're not really doing anything. Like the plot isn't moving along. Each episode is like a different mystery, of course, and like I said, the mysteries aren't the strongest because I feel like the episodes are a bit too long, and therefore it kind of like we're not in that groove, you know, because the episodes just are a bit too dragged out in my opinion. But when it comes to the sibling dynamic of the show, which is like the main thing, this is so good. Honestly, their dynamic is everything. I really like the 2 main characters, and honestly the finale was really good. Left things off with a bit of a cliffhanger, so I really hope we're getting a 2nd season, and I will be tuning in for that. Like I'm actually kind of glad I just randomly started watching this with my mom. Then next we're getting into my currently watching. It's a bit short, but still some good shows. Starting off with one I'm technically caught up on, and that's Wednesday season 2. I don't like this as much as season 1. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I watched all of part 1. I really thought like the first episode was so strong, and I was like, oh, we're back in business, baby, and then the rest has been boring. So there we go. I hope part 2 picks up a little, but this wasn't promising. So that actually do the shows I'm in the middle of watching. We have FC de Campione season 10 on a rewatch, of course, and this is where the bangers are. This season has been so good. Banner after banner after banner, I'm loving this. Then next we have Marvel's The Punisher season 1. Yes, I'm still watching this. This is going so slow because I really don't like this, and not because it's necessarily bad, but because it's just so not my cup of tea. But I hate it because I love the character of the Punisher. I forgot his name right now. Oh god, I feel terrible. Frank. I love Frank Castle. I feel like he's like my favorite within like this universe. Like one of my favorites within this universe. I also love Jessica Jones. Oh, after the Punisher, I get to go back to Jessica Jones. So maybe I should get all again. But I love the character, but I really am not connecting with the storyline at all. So it's going very slowly because I have to drag my feet on it every single time. Then I am still watching Ghost season 2. This is the US version. I'm watching this with my mom. I was honestly hopeful that season 2 would grow a little bit on me. It's not really, but it is a fine time. And then lastly, you have The Replacement season 1, which is a rewatch. I used to love this show as a kid, so I decided to like have this to watch while I'm doing other stuff sometimes, like in the background. And honestly, don't like it as much as I did as a kid. I don't really fully get it. I don't know. I'm a bit underwhelmed by it. It's not bad, but I'm underwhelmed by it just about how much I loved it as a kid. And then lastly, we're talking about the movies I watched this month. But I say lastly, but I watched actually quite a few. So here we go. Starting off with my Oxford Year, which came out in 2025, and I give 2 stars to. Here's the thing, I have not read this book. I have seen it floating around a little bit, and I have thought about reading it, but I've never really cared too much about it. But when the movie came out, I was like, sure, I love Sophia Carson. So I wanted to watch it for that as well, but I really wasn't a big fan of this movie. I just feel like this guy was just the worst red flag I've ever seen. Like, I don't know, nothing likable about this man, and I couldn't root for the romance either. And then like the female main character just kind of felt like a blank slate. Like she had no personality, and towards the end she did have a personality, but I was just like the guy's personality. And it can be such an ick to just see her quoting directly things that he said before and then presenting it as like her own personality. I'm like, oh babe, stop. But I do have to say that towards the end I did cry like a baby, which is kind of the point of this movie, and it pulled the emotion from me, so I can give it a 1 star, but I wasn't a fan of it. And then I also randomly watched Summer of '69, which came out in 2025, and I also gave 2 stars to. I saw this on Disney Plus. I just randomly clicked on it. I don't know why. I don't know. I genuinely don't know why. But this, again, I wasn't really a big fan of. I didn't hate it, but it definitely wasn't great. The main character has this thing where she kind of like zones out and has fantasies about what's happening, and those fantasies made this movie feel like a fever dream in the most negative sense possible. Like, it was so odd. I just had no clue what I was watching sometimes. And then also the whole premise of this movie is that she hired this stripper to teach her about sex because the guy she has a crush on supposedly loves 69. Which is such a random thing, but that's the truth. That's the premise of this. But then we spent 0 time with this guy. I'm like, I know nothing about this man, so how am I supposed to care about this crush you have on him? Because that's like the whole driving force of this movie. I don't know, I couldn't find it within me to care. Then next I watched FC de Kampioenen, Kampioen zijn blijft plezant, which came out in 2013, was a rewatch, and I gave 4 out of 5 stars to. They, like, to end the summer, reran all of the movies, so I watched them all because I am a sucker. Also, there's just nothing on TV in the summer, so that's fun. And honestly, this movie is also fun. I don't know why it is so negatively looked upon. Like, of course you gotta look at these as like FC de Kampioenen movies and not, you know, Oscar winning movies. But if you look at it within like the context that it is and meet it where, you know, where it's at, I feel like this is just a really fun movie, and like utilizes these characters in a really fun way, so I will never complain. Then next I have FC de Kampioenen 2, Jubilee General, which came out in 2015, and I gave 5 out of 5 stars to. Is another rewatch, obviously. This is what FC de Kampioenen movie should be like. It is like a small scale movie. I feel like the stakes aren't super high, but I feel like that works. It makes it feel like a long form episode in a way, and it feels cinematic still. And yeah, I don't know, I think this is so good. Then next we have FC de Kampioenen 3, Kampioenen Forever, which came in 2017. I give 2 stars to. Is another rewatch. Easily the worst of the bunch. I really don't like this one. Like, they go to Africa and they'll do nothing in Africa. Like, they spend all this time, all this money to go to a location, and then like don't do anything there, and it's so boring. And I feel like a lot of the humor also doesn't really hit the same way. I do have to say that Xavier's final speech, oh, so strong, so good, and always makes me emotional. It gives me chills each time. Then next we have Inside Out 2, which went in 2024, and I give 3 stars to. I told you I watched this. I thought it was fine, that it was fun. I liked the new characters. The only thing that pissed me off about this movie is that the message is basically the exact same as the first one, which is really annoying when these characters have to learn the exact same thing yet again. So you're telling me that the first movie was completely pointless because they still didn't get it. Let's move on to FC de Kampioenen 4, Viva Boma, which came in 2019, and I give 4 out of 5 stars. It was a rewatch. This is camp. Like, honestly, this is the most ridiculous out of all 4 of them, but it's so campy, it's so fun. I don't know, it's a silly goofy time. It is my silly goofy time, you know what I mean? And lastly for today we have Thunderbolts, which came in 2025, and I give 2 stars to, which I don't like telling you. Also, can I just say that like most of my reviews for this one on Letterboxd have been like 1 sentences because I am lazy. But with Thunderbolts, I had so much to say about it. It's so long, and I still like contained myself. I was so hyped for this movie because I love Yelena and I love Bucky, and I was very excited to see them in a movie together. And I thought the whole concept of you know, combining morally great characters, like villain characters, into a team is very interesting. So that concept was very interesting to me, and I was very intrigued to see some of these characters work together because they have some complicated history, some of them. And then, like I said, I don't have a local movie theater, so I never go to the theaters anymore. Like, very rarely. I went to see Wicked last year, but that was alright. I was like in public transportation as long as the movie lasted. So you can gather why I don't go to the theaters very often. So I always watch the Marvel releases the day they come out on Disney Plus. So I'd heard so many great things about Thunderbolts, so I was super excited for it. I really don't like it. I usually say Yelena, the only thing I liked about this movie. Bucky was fine, but not that big of a part. I wanted him to be a bigger part of it. It's basically a Yelena movie. I'm gonna say that. This could have so easily been a Yelena movie. But they had to make it a team up movie, which feels so stupid because this team never feels like a team. I feel like there was never a moment in this movie. I know the moments where they wanted me to feel this way, but they never gave me a moment where I actually felt like, oh yeah, this is a team. Also, like I said, I was very intrigued about this because some of the characters have complex history together, and I just didn't see how that would work within a team. They didn't show me any of that. They didn't show me any like fixing of those dynamics, I guess, where you would understand why they were on the same team. They just were, and I was so frustrated as well to watch. And on top of that, I just thought this whole movie was just so boring. And yeah, that is everything I have for you today. Like I said, it's quite a bit. I watched quite a bit. I'm quite proud of myself because I feel like I haven't watched especially this many movies in such a long time, so I think that's fun. And then I also watched a lot of shows, so that's also fun. And then yeah, the new TV season is starting in September, and I'm so excited for it. Like, so many shows that were darling, and I'm so hyped. And yeah, I'll see you then. But first, let me know in the comments of any of these shows and movies if you watched them, as well as some of your favorite things that you watched this month. And hopefully I'll see you next time.